afternoon. It's Monday, September 16, 2024. Peace is a path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this afternoon, President Tinubu felicitates Muslims on birth of Prophet Muhammad. NNPC announces new price for Dangote petrol. Resident doctors criticize federal government's policy on strike. On the foreign scene, police investigate suspect in attempted assassination of former U.S. President Donald Trump. I'm Ifichuku Moyale with the news. President Bola Tinubu has urged Muslims to endeavor to imbibe the virtues of Prophet Muhammad. In a statement by presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga, the president also urged the Muslim faithfuls to use the Maulid holiday to pray for the country and show empathy and compassion toward one another. The federal government declared today as public holiday to mark the celebration of the Eid al-Maulid, the birth of the Holy Prophet. Moving on, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited says it will sell the petrol lifted from the Dangote refinery in Rivers and other areas in the south at 960 naira per litre. The NNPC spokesperson Olufemi Suneye, in a statement on Monday, said the price would be above 1,000 naira per litre in the far north. Mr. Suneye explained that the price may go for as high as 1,019 naira per litre in places like Borno State and 992 naira 22 kobo in Abuja, Sokoto, Kano and others, while the lowest price of 950 naira will be sold in Lagos and its environs. Recall that the Dangote Group had disagreed with the NNPC on Sunday that it was selling PMS at 898 naira per litre, but it failed to release its price list. As you may know, on the 3rd of September, the NNPCL approved an upward review of pump price from 617 naira per litre to 897 naira per litre. Meanwhile, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, says it doesn't make sense for the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, to sell petrol lifted from the Dangote refinery higher than imported ones. IPMAN National Welfare Officer John IPMAN National Welfare Officer John Kekocha stated this on Channels Television today. In the meantime, President of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Abubakar Maigandi, says his members have yet to receive petrol price from NNPCL, the sole off-taker of petrol from Dangote Refinery. This is as NNPCL officially started the loading of petrol from the Dangote Refinery on Sunday. But the NNPCL says it will not set the market price of petrol in Nigeria as it is now a marketer. Moving on, the Rivers State Police Commissioner Olatunji Disu says he has ordered the tracking and arrest of those responsible for the shooting in Abuloma, Port Harcourt over the weekend. The spokesperson of the State Police Command, Grace Eringe-Koko, said this in a statement assuring law-abiding citizens that normalcy has been restored in the area. She urged residents to carry on with their daily activities without fear. She also encouraged members of the public to report any suspicious movements or activities to the police. As you may know, at least 4 people are feared dead following heavy gun shootings in Abuloma on Saturday. The incident is said to have happened during the election of the leadership of the Eastern Zone of the Ijaw Youth Congress, IYC. A bus was reportedly set ablaze during the shootings, causing panic. Residents camped for safety amid the intense gunshots. In other news, a community leader in Engeni, Ahoda West local government area of River State, Eniata Abieba, says he feels disappointed that the state government is still planning to set up IDP camps in case there's flooding. Recall that the Commissioner for Environment, Sidney Wara, said the state is making plans to set up a permanent IDP camp for people who may be displaced by the impending flood. Speaking with our correspondent on this, Mr. Eniata said any serious government should have long finished setting up IDP camps before the start of the rainy season.
If government is saying that they are planning, why should they start to plan now? They're supposed to have planned in maybe about 8 months before this time. Because if it had been a year that we are to expect a high flood, by now the environment would have been under threat. But there is kind of a favorable condition that we experience because this is the mid of September and the level of the water is very, very low. So it is not good that government will not tell you that they are planning for a place for flood victims settlers. And this issue has been recurring year in, year out, and there has not been any plan for a permanent site.
Mr. Abieba accused some federal and state government officials of using flooding to enrich themselves.
Government should not use the issue of flood to enrich the pockets of some people, to also keep the people in constant fear. Flooding has become a source of people having opportunity to fill their pockets. Because with the victims, they will talk about bringing in a huge amount of money, bringing in materials, but those things do not reach out to the people. They are diverted along the way. Some selfish officials have discovered that this is a very ready way of making money for themselves. So sometimes even when there is nothing like even flood, they will shout that there is flood. Nema was talking this, Nimet is talking this, but they should not be presented in a way that will cause panic to the people.
The community leader said the people of oil-rich communities like Engeni should not be suffering from flooding.
The government is in control of all our resources. Like in the Engene area, we have the oil wells. Where is kind of the money accrued from these oil wells? So what we are saying is that they should not ask us to be preparing. They should rather prepare us. We should wake up and see that, this is what government has done to mitigate the effect of flooding or to help the victims. What effort has the government done, whether federal government or now even River State government?
Still to come, resident doctors criticize federal government's threat to deduct pay from striking doctors. Stay with us. Welcome back, and now the rest of the news. The Federal High Court will resume tomorrow after its annual vacation. The annual vacation, which started on July 23rd, was expected to end on September 13, but has now been shifted to tomorrow due to the public holiday declared to celebrate Eid al-Maulid. During the vacation, Justice P.M. Ayua and Justice A.T. Mohammed were appointed vacation judges for the Port Harcourt division of the court. As you may know, there are a plethora of political cases in River State. And now the Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors has described as insensitive the federal government's threat to deduct 7 days' pay from doctors' salaries for going on strike. The doctor strike was to demand the rescue of their colleague, Ganiyat Bobola, who was kidnapped almost 9 months ago at the National Eye Center, Kaduna. The vice president, too, of the association, Kefas Wida, however, said the doctors are not moved by the pay deduction threat. In business, telecommunications operators are expected to start disconnecting mobile telephone lines that are not linked to the national identification numbers. It followed the expiration of the September 14 deadline set by the Nigerian Communications Commission. The NCC said in a statement in August that it expected that no SIM card would remain active without a verified name from September 15. And now to entertainment. Tito Jackson, elder brother of Michael Jackson, has died at the age of 70. Tito Jackson was a guitarist, singer, and original member of the legendary Jackson 5 group. In sports, boxing promoter Eddie Hearn says the long-awaited heavyweight bout between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury must definitely take place by the end of 2025 or it will never happen.
And now, we're bringing you news from around the world.
U.S. police are investigating the background of a gunman arrested at a Florida golf course where Donald Trump was playing. The FBI has called it an apparent assassination attempt. It happened just 2 months after Mr. Trump survived a shooting in Pennsylvania. U.S. media, including the BBC's U.S. partner CBS, have named the suspect a 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Roos.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Now that's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. President Tinubu has felicitated Muslims on the birth of Prophet Muhammad. NNPC has announced a new price for Dangote petrol. Resident doctors have criticized the federal government's deduction threat over strike. And on the foreign scene, police are investigating the suspect who attempted to assassinate former U.S. President Donald Trump. The news was edited by Onyekachi Nwosu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Moyeli. Many thanks for listening.